Okay, so I've imported my resurvey points into my drawing. That's them that you can see there at the 10, and they're at the 10 meter intervals. So I have added those to my existing ground surface, and we're good to go in terms of starting our design. Okay, so I'm just going to turn off the display of those points. Okay, so I've still got my surveyed road centerline alignment. That is the alignment that I need to use for my design. Can't deviate away from that at all, so the crown of the road cannot change. But we also need to improve the crossfall and the super elevation of the road. So for us to apply new super elevation to our design in Civil 3D, you need to apply your super elevation to your alignment. Okay, and to do that, you need to have proper curves and transitions defined on your alignment, and the starts and ends of the curves and transitions are where Civil 3D knows to apply the super elevation. So that all is fairly straightforward. The problem is that if you're confined to using the surveyed road centerline alignment, okay, it consists of a series of straights that join up the surveyed road centerline points. Okay, so there are no defined curves or transitions on that alignment at the moment. So what we see there for the curve is just actually a series of straights joining the roads surveyed road centerline points. So if I click on that and go to apply super elevation and say calculate now, it'll give me a message down here and it'll say the select alignment does not contain any curves, so it won't allow us to do it. So one of the ways to get around that is to create a best fit alignment, define proper curves and transitions on it, and then copy this, apply the super elevation to that alignment, and then copy the super elevation information from one alignment to the other. Okay, so in my drawing here, I already have started creating a best fit alignment, so I'll just turn it on and I'll just bring it to the front here. Okay, and what I've done with this alignment is I've drawn a series of straights here, and I've sort of eyed in the IP points so that the straight sections more or less are following the straight sections of my road, and at the IP points then I'm going to put in my own curve curves and transitions. Okay, so that alignment I drew manually, and it was just a series of straights eyeing in the IP points as I've described. Okay, so for me to place my curves and transitions then at each one of these IP points, and I'll just do one of these to show you kind of how to do it. Just select your alignment and go into my geometry editor here. I'm going to choose this drop down and select free spiral, curve spiral between two entities. So I'm going to select my first entity, which must be entity must be closer to the start of the alignment. Okay, and then it lets you select the next entity. So it's less than 180 degrees. So I'll try maybe 175 for a curve, and then maybe 25 for the transition lengths. Okay, and you see there I get a best fit curve and transitions that relatively closely match the existing condition. Now you can tweak the values there and play around with the values until you're happy that your best fit alignment, very closely follows the surveyed one. So maybe just change some of these values and see where it goes. Okay, so you can continue editing the radius of the curves and the length of the transitions until you get, I was probably better off the way I was, until you get an alignment, best fit alignment that very closely matches the surveyed condition. Okay, now once you've done that, then let me just I'll just turn on one here that I have been working on earlier. end object isolation. So this is what I was working on earlier. Once you have that then, and you have the best fit alignment with curves and transitions defined at the correct locations, what you can do is you can apply super elevation to that alignment. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to overwrite super elevation that I would have defined on this already. So it's just opening up the super elevation wizard. Okay, so just going to accept a lot of the defaults here. So I'm going to apply 2.5%. Click finish. Okay, so I've now defined super elevation data on my best fit alignment. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to export that super elevation information using this button. So let me see, I'll call this N70 super elevation best fit, and close the dialog box, and then select my actual surveyed road centerline alignment. Go into the tabular editor here, and then use this button to import the super elevation information from the best fit alignment onto our surveyed alignment. Okay, seems to be, oh yeah. Okay, I'm just going to accept all the data. Just give it a second to think there, and it brings in all of the super elevation information from the other alignment onto our alignment. Okay, so don't, I suppose, get too hung up on trying to, for copying the super elevation information like that, it doesn't really matter if your best fit is, it deviates away from your surveyed road center line on the horizontal, like it does here, because the super elevation information is applied at a change. So where the transition ends and the curve starts here, it's going to apply the super elevation data or values at that location, so it's a change. So just because the two alignments differ in the horizontal, the change of which is going to be applied is the difference is going to be negligible between the two. So it doesn't really matter, I suppose, that they might differ on the horizontal for what we're trying to do. Okay.